Thank you. And I'd be remiss without starting off with some background music, so bear with me. Ole, ole, ole. Here we go. So let's start off with this. Who likes soccer? Sorry. I'm in Europe. Who likes football? Yeah, there we go. We like football. How many of you guys like exercising and running? Yeah, there we go. We got some runners here. Perfect. So this is the perfect talk for you. So, well, shoot, I'll stop right here and I'll let these guys introduce themselves and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Elgin. My name is Juan Fuentes. I am the delegate of LALIGA to the Nordic countries. I am based in Copenhagen, overseeing the strategic development of the Spanish Football League in this region, LALIGA. And yeah, I take care of this region in terms of expansion, strategic partnerships, and happy to be here in Tallinn. It's not our first time together, so happy to engage again and to share what we are doing in the web3 world, far beyond, and how are we taking Spanish soccer to new generations and to in new formats.
Hey guys, my name is Robert. I'm local to Tallinn. We build digital products. Have been doing stuff in Web3. We built loyalty and NFT platform for music industry, also payment service provider in the cryptosphere. But in sports, most recently working with Stebi in Estonia. Estonians know that one. But also in football, that's only football for me, where we do data collection from smart insoles with a company called Sportsienta, and then doing video analysis with an Australian company.
All right, cool, perfect. So we got to speak a little bit earlier, and literally we spoke for like over an hour just talking about our topic, but we only have 30 minutes, so we're just gonna go right into it. So let's go. So tell us right now, what are some practical use cases using Web3 philosophies, blockchain technology, in what you guys are doing in professional football, and you helping different franchises do what they do?
Perfect, I will start. So first thing I would like to say that in LALIGA, we are not experts in Web3. Our core business and expertise is to commercialize and to organize a football competition. So to enter in the Web3 world, we have done it always with partners. For us, it's very relevant because, as I say, it's not our expertise. And we have very good cases in different levels, on the league level, then on the clubs level. Every single club as well is entering in these spaces in different, using different ways and partners. And on the league level, we have interesting partnerships with Sorare, for instance. We have a fantasy league backed with NFTs, of course, operating nowadays. We have a partnership with Sorare already for a couple of years. Then on the clubs level, they have as well partnerships with socios.com, which is the fan token platform, and they are using tokens as well to do gamification and to engage more with their members as well, to bring them some, I don't know, extra, let's say, activities or they can do if they own these fan tokens. And then sometimes we have seen in the last year as well, our clubs as well, using NFT technology to run season ticket campaigns. We have really good cases, for instance, with Leganés or Real Sociedad, where for the season ticket campaigns, they have sold digital pods of the stadium. So you own a pod of the stadium through NFTs as well, in a really interesting way. That is, if through the year there is a goal scored through your digital pod, there is 10,000 divisions, you can earn prizes. So it's a very interesting way, and it worked really well, I always say, because they communicate to the football fan base of these clubs in a very easy way, how to engage and how to buy a digital pod. So the way that they are communicating the clubs, these kind of campaigns and these kind of projects in the Web3 world, I think is key for the audience, for the football audience that are not savvy on this, to really engage and to buy these digital pods of the football pitch. So there are different levels of engagement. I think it's something we need to explore more. That's why I'm here. I don't know if is there anyone here working in football?
Any football people working in the industry?
No football people. Yeah. It's something I really think it's missing sometimes in these Web3 conferences to engage more, at least the football industry. We are a 5 billion market size industry, one of the biggest markets in the world, according to FIFA. And I think much more can be done, but for that, I think we also need to interact more. That's why we really like to be here in LALIGA, learning from others and, from providers, potential partners to see what else we can do. So these are some examples. We are always eager to explore what else we can do to try to engage and to target new generations, but more or less multi-level engagement in Web3, always through partners, because it's not our core business or our core expertise. And looking for engaging with new generations through new ways.
Cool.
That's more or less a good summary.
Yeah. Robert, as a service provider, can you give us,
So Juan is mostly focused about loyalty, which is obviously a big thing, but most of the things go under umbrella of loyalty and creating this relationship with the fans and giving back to the community with the utilities, as has been mentioned previously. Other side I see is in the data for sure, and anti-doping stuff, for example, but also the data that is generated from the field, from players' movements, maybe from wearables, for example. So the company we're working with, they have smart insoles, which has pressure points inside. So every time a player jumps, runs, hits the ball, or even moves the foot through the air, we have generating huge amounts of data, and we can do analysis on it. And another panel was about privacy, and that's where Web3 for sure comes in, because part of the data that is generated on field is public data. If you can see it on TV, it's public, but if it's from wearables, it's private. So how do you share that data, and who do you share it with, when do you share it with, and how to manage those relationships so that players who actually generate the data, they would get value back. That's very interesting for me.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it seems like just listening to other talks, data and the rightful data ownership and the rightful data monetization has kind of been an underlying theme. And when we spoke about it too, is data at multiple levels. And let's kind of expound on that. Like, how can data be useful to an individual athlete at the professional level and at the amateur level?
So in our case, on the league level, we have softwares that analyze sports performance of every single player when we track them with cameras, and then we have millions of entry points of different data that then the coaches, they use to try to do better tactics and to increase the sports performance of the team individually and therefore as well on the team. So it's something we have been working for many years. We have a software coach, media coach, with a lot of quite some millions of entry points that is used to try to increase the overall performance of the team on the pitch. So it's something we are kind of forward in using data for the shake of the club and to try to give the clubs, the Spanish clubs, a competitive advantage over other clubs in Europe. And all of our clubs in La Liga, they use this software, the 42 clubs, and it's quite recognized in the market. So other leagues, teams, they are always as well asking us about the software, and we're even happy to share it as well through commercialization strategies with 2 other leagues and clubs. So on the pro level, it's something that we are working on, and we of course always want to do better and work more, but it's something that we have been working on many years already from now.
That's cool.
I think that the cost of collecting and analyzing data is coming down a lot, partially thanks to AI tools. So it's moving down the food chain, so to say. So it's not only pro level. In the near future, it will be in the grassroots level, in the youth games, in amateur games. You can just, after a Sunday league game, you can watch how many passes you had, how many kilometers you did, compare yourself against the pros in some level. And that will help the younger players as well a lot to develop, to see where they might need to train more.
Yeah, and we talked about how at the amateur level, you can expose that data so that scouts can see it, right? And being on chain, there again, we always point to the source of truth, and there's provenance to that, and it obviously you can't deny it because it's on chain. And another, I think, use case for that data was at the professional level, using that data. So when the player is a free agent, how can they essentially showcase that data, or the agent showcase that data so that they can get more money at the next team. So this will, I don't want to put a negative to what we're doing because obviously we are all pro Web3. So I'm going to throw out some stats, okay? The NFL, the National American Football League, in 2022 was worth $18.1 billion. The Major League Baseball, $10.32 billion. NBA was $10.58 billion. 2022 Formula One, $2.57 billion. The Super Bowl, just one game, Super Bowl, $600 million in just advertising. And the host city, so when the Super Bowl goes to a city, it makes anywhere between $300 to $500 million. There's a lot of money, right? Whatever these leagues are doing, and you said FIFA said it's like worth billions of dollars as well, it's working, right? So for something that's already working, why do we need to inject Web3? Is it going to solve anything or help make more money into something, again, that's already working? And then, we obviously have a phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So how is Web3, can Web3 help generate more money or fix things that are broken?
Yeah, I think it can bring, of course, new revenue streams into leagues and clubs. Regarding benefits and revenue records, also in Spain, in La Liga, we just hit a accumulated revenue record of more than 5 billion euros. So the industry is moving forward. I think is doing well. When some people, some tech providers come and tell us, you need to use this because the young generations are not engaging in football, I completely disagree, and I can make a parenthesis and share about the funnel of the football industry. It's true that maybe young people, they don't buy football because football is a very expensive product. We always say we are a Ferrari. Yeah. So with young generations, we are not aiming to monetize them right now as much as we monetize plus 30 segment. So the industry is moving, it's growing, and we have different strategies to target people with high purchasing power when they are plus 30 years old, which is the one that are bringing us more revenue, of course. But then, to engage new generations, we have different models and different systems. One is social media, one is our partnerships with this kind of platforms, Sorare, and so on, socios.com, our clubs. And I think it's interesting because this gives us as well the ability to monetize through different business models, through microtransactions, a generation, people between 16 and 25, that they might not have 60 euros a month to spend on a subscription to watch the La Liga or the Premier League, but they do have 1-2 euros to buy a token. So I think it's interesting, to enter in this space because it gives you a new window, it gives you a new tool to monetize a target group that otherwise is harder to monetize, and also to engage them. So in the later stage in the funnel, this fan, that now is 16, he will become a person under 30s with purchasing power, a good job, and he is able to buy, or she is able to buy a subscription for the TV product, which is our main core business. So again, it's important to be in these spaces, to monetize, to engage. Also, for us, one of our obsessions now is to collect first-party data, because football is a B2B business. We sell to broadcasters, we sell our brand to sponsorships, but then the relationships, the direct relationships with the fans are with our broadcasters and with our sponsors. So social media, apps, all of our first-party data ecosystem is growing. We want to make it grow, and as well through different Web3 projects, we can make it grow bigger, our first-party data, which is, I think, one of our current focuses, because traditionally our business is B2B, and data, collecting data of your customers or understanding them is the present and the future. So we are very much focusing as well on that. And it's also where web3, can play a role.
That's great.
First of all, any new technology, may it be blockchain or AI, should be applied only where it brings value, for sure. So attaching Web3 to something where it doesn't make sense, it's not going to work out. And same with any new tech and AI as well. But to your question in what can Web3 really help with sports, the data generation that the pro players are generating a lot of data, they would like to monetize it as well. But so far, it has been almost impossible to make the technology to support that in an open marketplace where they could give access to certain groups of people and get money
with
back.
Current Web2 technology.
Current Web2 technologies, yeah.
But you're thinking Web3 can do that.
With Web3, you can build those tools, yes.
Okay. So if you monetize that data, and again, I'm just trying to refer back to our earlier conversation, it's hard, and we kind of spoke about the data and also the ownership of things. And I like what you said before, is like, it's hard to own a team. So you can't have a DAO of a team, right? But especially in football, you can own players, right? Can you talk to us about the concept of owning players? And then Robert, maybe you can talk to us about, in a technology perspective, of how to make that happen, of owning a player or a fractional player, right?
Yeah, I think, yes, in the Web3 space now, there are some apps, some new startups. I know one called Nordic that allows you to own and to invest on a player on his early stage of his career. And I don't know what's the future, or how is the future of this is going to be, if they will face regulatory problems in the future. But it's an interesting project, democratization of financing or ownership of a player career. However, also from LALIGA perspective, I believe, and this is my personal thought, that fan ownership shouldn't go to a higher level. I think using Web3 and NFTs to generate fan engagement and loyalty is great, but I always make this comparison, which I said already before in Copenhagen. I wouldn't use Web3 to allow fans to own and to have decision-making powers in football clubs. Why? Because we are a complex industry. We are the media industry. It's a very dynamic, very, very fast-moving. And a fan, he might love football, but you really need nowadays to be educated in business dynamics of the media industry and many more to really be able to take the right decision for your football club. And I always make this comparison. I wouldn't put a fan to have decision powers over a club as I wouldn't put an environmental activist to be a board member in a renewable energy plan.
That's right.
So you might love the environment, which I do as well, but I have no idea about the renewable energy industry. So there are two things that I think they need to be separated: engagement and loyalty, and then from the club level, when you take it to the next step, which is to give fans the decision powers over an industry they don't understand. This is my comment.
The young players who are coming up, they always have a point in their life where they need to make a decision. Do I try to go pro, or do I pursue some other career? And very often the decision comes down to financials. If they have better tools to find backing from a larger community who relies on their investment decisions based on data, that would be a really cool use case for Web3. But as you mentioned, the regulatory might be a little bit of a blocker there, because the investors would want future revenues of those players. So we'll see how that plays out. But I hope there will be more kind of experiments in there, and I hope there will be teams that are DAOs as well. Maybe not in the top level, but teams that are coming up closer to LALIGA and the top leagues. There is a Bitcoin run team in England, and community run teams everywhere. So let's see if football club DAO will be a big thing someday. Yeah. I'm sure there will be a great experiments coming up.
I mean, if you think about it, just because obviously this topic is fandom and fan engagement. having, and we know that Web3 is driven by the community, right? So if you can use all the power and the resources that we have in the technology, and bring that into a community, and that's kind of the again, just hearing other talks, it's this long-term loyalty, right? Because a lot of times we just talk about loyalty, brand engagement. Obviously, every team is a brand, every player is a brand, right? So using the resources that we have, having that brand loyalty and connecting with the end consumer or the community, and so I don't know if you want to talk about just loyalty in general and how we can use whatever we have to drive that loyalty and keep them connected to us.
What I would like to say is that, in this process of bringing this technology, Web3, into the football community, I think we need to be very careful. I think one of the reasons why Web3 and cryptocurrency are investing, are sponsoring football clubs, and trying to engage with our ecosystem is because we have something the Web3 space is lacking, which is general trust. Yeah. And we are like guardians, like the LALIGA has been running for almost 100 years. Our class has been running for 100 years. And whatever you do, like the fans, take it really serious because they don't think with their hearts. They don't think with their heads. They think with their hearts. Yeah. So in this process of bringing, all of this innovation, Web3 innovation into clubs, we need to be very careful because also I share some best practices, but we also have wrong practices. We have some crypto wallets that invested, that sponsor some of La Liga clubs, and they went bankrupt and they didn't work. So we need to be careful as at least as a football organization and our clubs to choose the right partners, to implement all of this technology and this Web3 space into football. Because if things go wrong, our fans, our community, which is already built, and of course it can grow more, it can take it in the wrong way. But still, I think there is room for more collaborations. There is room for more intersection between football and Web3. But football organizations right now, we are careful of the partners we talk in this space because we have seen some problems and some wrongdoings as well. But I think, as I said before, we are having something that maybe because of the volatility of some cryptocurrencies, maybe because some frauds, in the Web3 space that consumers are facing, the trust that we have, it's something I think the Web3 community and projects, they need. And I think that's why we match in a way, but we try also to nowadays to be careful with whom we speak and with whom we partner to protect a 100-year-old institution that has been running, like a league with 100-year-old football clubs that people are very passionate about.
Yeah, so much history. That's cool. Robert, so at Devtailor, what have you institutionalized or done that can help drive brand loyalty or loyalty to any community? How can your technology help with that loyalty?
So we're building for clients usually, and in football's sense, we haven't been in the loyalty sector. But football is definitely something where teams have huge communities. Even like a local Sunday league team, it is a community as well. Yep. But if you grow it to larger ones, professional teams, their fan base is a huge community, and it is a low-hanging fruit for them to start offering utility-based loyalty programs. So that's something that you could definitely sell to, and platforms are doing that.
Yeah. So we're running out of time. So I come back. My history is mobile, right? Mobile advertising, and back in the day, we were always fighting for ad dollars from traditional media, from traditional TV, from online advertising, and we always joke, when is the year of mobile, right? Even though everyone is still doing this more than this or watching whatever, CTV, we always joke internally, is this the year of mobile, right? So I'm going to ask the question, when is the year of Web3? when has Web3 become so pervasive that it's like drinking water. We don't even think about it. We don't say, oh, that's Web3. It's just so natural, right? So when do you guys think, in a technology perspective, in a league perspective, that it is so natural that we don't even think about it, and it's become the year of Web3? Like, what's your forecasting on that?
I'm not going to say a number, but
Okay.
it's going to happen when the technology is hidden away. So everybody's using www, but almost nobody knows how the TCP/IP protocol works. So the same thing has to happen for Web3 and blockchain. So whenever the tools and platforms are going to get there, maybe integrated into the mobile phones, that's when it's going to be like water.
Okay.
For me, it will be when in this space, in this conference, I can see football executives, because that will mean that there is a total integration between our two worlds. But to me, as LALIGA, I am here the whole day trying to be more educated on this space. Again, I am not an expert. I try to gain insights. I try to meet people we can collaborate with. But until there is more integration, at least in the football industry, there will not be the Web3 day. And for that, I am missing here a lot of football people or sports people, because I think there is, as I said before, this natural integration and combination of assets that we are not having, that you're having, and the other way around. But this is what I am missing, more interaction between the sectors. And it's important because, as I said before, we are not experts on this. We need to really understand it better, to get educated better, and what's the best place to be educated right there.
That's right.
And I don't see sports executives from the Baltics, or I don't see other sports organizations around. So for me, when there is this intersection and I am able to meet here other football people, that will mean that more interaction is done, that there are more projects together, and that everybody's like working together between football and sports and the Web3 world. But to me, it's really sad to see that I am the only one. On the other hand, it's great because I feel it can be a competitive advantage for LALIGA to be here. And it's also, when I am here the whole day, being educated, engaging with you guys, for me, it's also a cost of opportunity. Like my directors are telling me, go there, engage, try to meet the community, and see if any opportunity arises. I could be doing many other things as I do, but I am surprised I am the only one.
Yeah.
But it's also, I think for my company, it's a great thing. When you are the only one, you have
really cool.
a first mover advantage.
First mover, yep. So, gosh, we're out of time. But I wanted to bring up AR because we were talking about that earlier, but we totally forgot. But I'm going to wear my AR glasses and end with this and try to record the people here and whatnot. But thank you again. I think this was great. If you have any questions for these guys, feel free to hit them up afterwards. But thank you again.
Let's go.